Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to another episode of Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness. I am so delighted you're here with me today. Today we're going to be talking about what is a soul yes and why it's important to let go and say no to those things that are draining of you, your time, your energy, all of those things. Now you might call this setting boundaries. And setting boundaries is saying no to things. But I am more interested this week in talking about saying yes to the things that you really want to do, but haven't done because there are things in your life holding you back. So many times in life, we just go through the motions. I know I'm guilty of this. Some days I get up, I wash my hair, I put on my makeup, rinse and repeat. Like I go to work, drink my coffee, I come home, find something for dinner, pedal around the house a little bit, go to bed, wake up, and do the same thing over and over again. And when we start living life on repeat, it can feel very dull. We can feel lethargic. We can feel not energized. We can feel drained. We can feel like we lose our purpose in life because we just don't really get why getting up and doing the whole thing over again. Why are we doing this? This is boring. It's mundane. Why did I come here to experience this? And on top of that, when we go throughout our day, sometimes we are met with people who just suck. Let's be honest. There are people out there who just suck. Their energy is terrible. Their personalities are terrible. They're just awful people. When you deal with the general public at large, you have to deal with those kinds of people. And you may be thinking to yourself, wow, this is really negative. I'm just being honest with you because over the past few weeks, I have had to deal with different people and situations, and it hasn't been pleasant. Now, that has not made me have a negative outlook on the world, but I understand that these people are out there and they exist and that sometimes we have to deal with them. So when you're already feeling lackluster and you're feeling like there has to be more to life than this, and then on top of that, you have to deal with the general public at large, and you realize that some of those people are terrible, it can leave you feeling completely defeated. And like, what is the point? And I don't want to do this anymore. And I'm here to encourage you and to let you know that it's perfectly normal for you to feel that way. Everybody feels that way at some point or another because this life that we have to go through is really difficult. In fact, I've heard several people say that when you choose to come to Earth School, there are so many galaxies out there. This is definitely not the only existence you've had. You have existed on other planets, other stars, and I know that sounds weird to you right now, but it's true. If we are to think that we're the only planet out there with life on it, that's pretty conceited because there are so many different planets, so many different constellations, so many different systems out there. We are not the only ones living out there. We've just been sheltered from this information and the existence. And so we feel very isolated and like we're the only planet, but we're not. Also, when you think about the fact that you've lived other existences, people who have done past life regression say the other schools are not this difficult. Earth is the most difficult because it's so heavy. We have gravity. We have all of these things. We come here to learn all of these lessons, and it's really, really hard. So if you've ever felt like, I don't want to be here, or I'm just waiting till it's over, you're not alone. A lot of people feel that way. They feel like they don't fit in. But I'm here to tell you, you don't have to continue to feel that way. You don't have to continue to live in misery your whole lives. The problem is that we have become conditioned that we have to do X, Y, and Z in order to make our existence. And I am very guilty of that. As I sit here and speak to you, I am contemplating how to improve different areas of my life because I've fallen into that trap too. I've fallen into the trap of I have to go to work every day to make this existence, to live this life, and I have to. And it's terrible because you feel so restricted by that type of life. And it doesn't have to be that way. It's just that most of us are afraid to put ourselves out there and afraid to say yes to the things that we would really love to do. And honestly, I believe that many of us are afraid to even contemplate what we would do if we could do it. If we had the ability to say, I don't want to do things the way that I've always been doing things and I want to change, what would we do? And that's a big, scary question for a lot of us because it requires thinking outside the box. It requires being unchained from those thoughts, those perceptions, those roles that we've been chained to for so long. But saying yes to what we want to do and saying no to what we don't want to do is so super important. And I think people have to get more comfortable with saying no. I'm the type of person, if I say no to somebody, I always feel like I have to have a reason or an excuse ready to go. And you don't, because no is a complete sentence. And I'll give you an example. So I need some handiwork done around my house. I've put it off for a while and I'm just like, you know what? I really need to take care of my house. I need to get a few things done. So I put a post out on Facebook in our city's, it's called the Collinsville Connection, that page, just to say, hey, I need to have someone come look at my roof. I know it probably needs to have some work, but I don't know how much needs to be done, or I don't even know how to go about it. And the companies that I've called, they don't do repair on the type of roof that I have anymore because it was a rock and tar roof built in 1959, original to the house. I mean, it's probably been repaired, but they last 20 years, so it definitely needs it again. And I had a few people put names out there and say, hey, this is who you should contact. So I contacted the person who was mentioned 4 times, came out, gave me a fair price. And I was like, okay, I'm probably going to go with this person. In the meantime, someone else contacted me and said, hey, I repair roofs. And I said, oh, that's okay. I already had somebody who came out. He gave me this quote. He seems reputable. He's going to come out and do it. And the guy said, well, you have to be careful with those kind of people. They'll set your roof on fire. So I was already immediately thrown off by the way he was talking to me. And I said, no, it's a legit roofing company. And he said, oh, I'm sorry. I was using voice to text. Didn't mean to come off like that. I can probably beat this guy's price. I think I'm the lowest around. And I said, well, if you would like to come out and come out and look at it is what I said. If you want to come out and look at it, you're welcome to come out and take a look. So every day he was just aggressively like, can I come out now? And I was not home. And he would say, well, you don't have to be home. I'll just come out by myself. And I would say, no, I don't want somebody to come out to my house when I'm not there. I don't trust that. I don't want that. And so the other day, he texted again and said, hey, are you home? Can I come out and look at it? And I said, yeah, I'm home. And he video called me, which I thought was weird anyway, but then video called and was just the way he talked to me on the video call. And just the vibe I got, I was like, I don't want to be by myself when you're here because my son wasn't home at the time. He was working. And so I just said, hey, you know what? I just realized I've got to take my son's car to the dealership, which I did. And I forgot about that. And so I'm not going to be home. And so he said, well, I'm already packed up and I was already going to come to Colin. Now, let me tell you that I had not given him my address or anything at this point. I was already headed your way. He doesn't even know where I live. And then he said, well, you already told me that I could replace the roof. And I said, no, I never ever said you could do it. I said, if you gave me the lowest bid, I said, you're welcome to come out and, give me an estimate or come and look at it. I think I said, come and look at it was what I said. And he circled what I said. I said, yes, that does not say you can do this. And I said, you know what? I'm done. And I blocked him. And I was so stressed because the whole time I'm thinking I've got to think of a good excuse. And then at some point I just said, no, I don't. I don't have to say yes to anything that feels like a no to me. And this is like a hell no. I don't trust you. I don't trust your vibes. I don't want you near me or my house. I don't like you. No, I'm hiring you, not the other way around. And I can do whatever I want to do. But for some reason, I had those old programming and conditions going, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to be polite. Do you know that more women are killed in our country because they're polite? Why do we feel like we have to give excuses or we have to do anything? We should not have to apologize for any of our actions or behavior. If we're following our gut and we're saying no because we don't want to, you should not have to come up with an excuse after that. And that makes me so angry when I think about it, because I want to say to myself, where did those programmings come from? Where did that conditioning come from? Because I can tell you one thing, my mom did not have an issue telling people no or to F off or whatever. She didn't. But I didn't get that. Like, I was like, no, I have to be polite, and you don't. But I don't know where that came from, honestly, in me. I really don't know where that came from. And I'm going to have to spend some time thinking about that. But you've got to uncover why you're saying yes when you don't want to do something, or why you're saying no when you do, because that's a thing too. We say no to things we really wanted to do because we're afraid. We let that fear come in and say, you can't do this. You don't have what it takes. If I would have let that stop me, like, I never would have had a podcast. You wouldn't be listening to me right now. I would never have published a book. You wouldn't have read that. I wouldn't have done any of those things. And there was a part of me that said I don't want to do those things because I'm scared, or I don't think I have what it takes, or I don't know enough right now. And had I listened to that, I wouldn't be here right now talking to you, because I would have said no to the things that I really wanted to say yes to. Whether it's deciding that you want to go on vacation. A thing for me is that lately I've been really thinking about, do I want to live in the town that I live in? And even though I love it and I love the people that I'm around, there's a part of me that always wanted to get out of that town and wanted to go move away and see if I could have made it on my own in another town, and preferably one where there's no winter, because I hate the cold weather. And I would have loved to have seen if I could have moved to a climate where there was warmer weather and that was closer to the water and things that I loved. Like, would I have made it? Would I have liked it? Would I have enjoyed it? I feel like so many things happened to me when I was young that discouraged me from really trying to see if I could make it elsewhere. And I think that's why I love travel so much, because I've always wanted to get away. And now I can kind of do that with travel. But there's still that little part of me that's like, could you move away and be happy? Are you disappointing your kids if you move away because you're not there? But I have one that doesn't live near me anyway. She lives in Colorado. And my other child is talking about wanting to move. It's like, I have this loyalty to stay here for what reason? For what? My mom's not even here now. My grandma's not here. All of the people that I would have needed to be here to take care of are not here. My dad doesn't live here. What is keeping me here and stuck, other than my own fear that maybe I wouldn't make it, or maybe I wouldn't like it, or I should have stayed? Why are we saying no to things that are a soul yes? And that's what this is all about today. What are your soul yeses? What are some things that you definitely wanted to do and never did because you allowed those no's, the fear, the whatever, to creep in and keep you from doing the thing you always wanted to do? And we all have that part of us. We all have the part of us where when we were little and we had that inner child, we had so many ideas, so many plans, so many things we wanted to do, and then life got in the way. Life came in and you had kids, or you got married, or you got a job, or this or that happened. And it stopped you from doing the thing that you really wanted to do. And the thing is, the divine doesn't put that desire or passion within us for no reason. I think a big time it's a part of our purpose. And we come here and we get disillusioned and we get forgetful and we don't remember why we're here. And we get off track because we kept saying no to the things that were soul yeses for us. So now I think the time it's come for you to sit down and think about, what soul yeses did you say no to? What are the things you really want to do, but you're just not doing it because you're afraid, or because you've just been told that you can't, or because you're afraid of what other people will think of you, or that you're not living up to your responsibilities. What are you avoiding? What keeps you up at night? It's those things. So I challenge you today to look at your life. What soul yeses are you saying no to? And can you say yes now, even if you do it afraid? It's okay to do things afraid, or to say, I don't have everything I need, but I'm going to do it anyway. Why not? I applied to a job this week that I don't know if I'll hear anything back from, but I did it because there was a part of me that was a little bit afraid. And to me, I was like, if I'm afraid, that's a soul yes, because then I need to put on my big girl pants, and I need to face this fear, and I need to go for it, because if it doesn't work out, it's fine. I won't have wasted anything other than the time it took to apply. But if I don't, I will never know if I could have been destined for something else. What are you allowing yourself to stay stuck in that isn't serving you? So today, I want you to sit down and take a look at your life and ask yourself, what have I said no to that should have been a yes? Or what should I say yes to in the future that maybe I might convince myself is a no, but is really a yes? Now, I wanted to pull some cards for you today, and I chose the Angela Rose deck. And the first card that came out is Soul Yes. When we say yes to everything, we run ourselves empty. When you say yes to something, make it a soul yes. Begin to develop a practice of saying yes to the life that feels amazing to you. You will begin to build up confidence and self-empowerment. This means you will also need to say more no's to things that are no longer aligned with you. Let go of the guilt and say no when it feels like a no. No is a complete sentence, and you don't have to have any reason or explanation behind it. There's a mantra that goes with this card. It says, I have boundaries and only say yes when it feels like a soul yes. The next card that came out is You Are Safe. The unknown is scary. Trust in your direction. You are right where you are meant to be. It can feel scary to do something new. Trust. You are fully supported and safe. Breathe, inhale through your nose. Bring your breath to the lowest part of your stomach. Exhale your breath out of your mouth. Do this for 3 rounds or as long as you want. And the mantra that goes with this card is I am safe and loved. You can't make this stuff up. I picked the topic and then pulled the cards, guys, and these are what came out, and you cannot make that up. The next card is I am worthy. I was born worthy of all my desires. I know my dream is meant for me because it's my vision, my dream, and it's in my DNA. Tell the universe right now what you desire. Claim it, own it, breathe it. And the mantra that goes with this card is I was born worthy. And the final card is emotions. Emotions are energy in motion. When we suppress our emotions, they can get stuck in our body and show up as physical pain. Allow yourself to feel the feelings, even if it feels uncomfortable. It won't last forever, I promise. Feel it to heal it. The action with this card is allow yourself to just feel how you feel without judgment. And the mantra that goes with it is, I allow myself to feel it all. And sometimes I think in that saying no, we feel the guilt. We got to let the guilt go. Feel it and work through it, but know that it is not serving you, and let it go. And allow yourself to think of all of the possibilities that your life could be if you just did what you actually wanted to do and not what you thought you were expected to do. You deserve to have a beautiful and abundant life, and I hope that each and every one of you is experiencing that right now. And know that I am sending you so much love and light. I hope you have a beautiful day from wherever you're listening, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.